Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the lab. I'm your host, John Burkett, and of course, I have the SOY cast with me, Mr. Ace Embrador, looking really fire with that green ass hat. Al Beasy down there, and Dre's kind of floating off screen, but we got Mr. Knox with us too.
Hey, what's up? What's going on, Mo?
Hey,
You caught me. So guess I'll stay.
how y'all doing, Dre? What's good?
Good, man. We're doing good.
Living life,
Percolating.
living La Vida Loca.
Love that song.
Enrique Iglesias, yeah, he be putting out the hits.
I thought it was J Balvin. My bad.
Pitbull.
Oh man. So those of course those are all wrong. We all know it's Ricky Martin. It's not
Mr.
that
Martin.
No, wait. I thought it was Bad Bunny.
Oh my gosh. So apparently, by the way, just off topic, Bad Bunny, that this is his last like tour. Is that right, Dre?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know? Okay. He
I just
announced
like saying Bad Bunny. If it's his last tour, then I guess he's gonna be a sad Bunny. Yeah. I like that guy, but yeah, I don't know much about like his tours and stuff.
he definitely puts it down. That's
Yeah.
for
I
sure.
like his vibe.
For sure. So there's been a lot of things going on in the news lately. We just got like a new Shang-Chi trailer literally minutes ago. We got hella stuff with NBA going on. We got hella stuff with just homie from the Raiders. Excuse me, I'm blanking on his name, but I know he's a defensive end, but he came out this week too. Like so many things going on.
Like from quarantine?
I'm sorry?
He came out like finally from quarantine?
No, he came out as is that a joke? God damn it, Albert. No. I'll grab his name right now. But yeah, lots of things going on. Before we get into all that, I was thinking we talk a little, streetwear and Nike SB and that whole game. And I wanted to start with you, Ace, because I know like whenever there's something like trending or like just the new kind of fashion or fashion forward type of thing that's happening, I feel like you're always ahead of the curve. I think you're rocking the fanny pack over your shoulder like way before I ever saw anyone else do it. I even, gave you crap about it. And, you're like, well, I do it for function, not just really fashion. And then, like I said, flash forward 6 months and everyone's doing it. So I just wanted to get your thoughts about, like sneaker culture, Nike SB specifically, and like what's been going on with all these dunks and stuff.
I just tuned in to Albert's page, and Albert's pretty much the cute hype one out of the group. But sure, I'll take the credit. As far as like fashion, I mean, let's not forget that Mr. Virgil Abloh just dropped all those Louis Vuitton Air Force Ones. Personally, I like a couple of them. But will I ever purchase any of them? No way. I think fashion is whatever you want it to be. I am no one to say, hey, you're not dressing cool, because they can then in turn tell me, hey, you know what, you're not dressed cool. So it's all on however you want to take it. As far as SBs nowadays, we've talked about it before. It's I've given it up to the youth. They're taking it by the wheel, and I'm letting them take that car for a spin, because I've drove it all around the block, up and down the state, and so it's their turn to drive it. But
Is this X-rated or not? I can't tell. It seems like it might be inappropriate, but
I mean, you mentioned Bad Bunny earlier, and it got me in my feels. So, but no,
Definitely gets the juices going.
Definitely. Bad Bunny. How was it, Dre?
Bad Bunny.
There it is. But yeah, I mean, I think the Nike SB game, like, it's evolving, and you got to evolve with it. I think there's a lot of too much collaborations right now, and there's not, I feel like independent, like, designs. It has to be with a skateboard company or or a movie or something. There's no individual just design or inspiration by itself. So that's where I kind of miss, the old Nike SBs. And uh, you know, I think the GRs that are coming out are way, way better than, those hype collabs and specialty edition Nike SBs. I kind of like the GRs in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, fashion, it recycles itself. So, like
Literally.
you said, fanny pack earlier, you would have been laughed at what in the 2000s, 2010s, and my wallet was getting too fat, not with money, but with
Coupons.
coupons to Rallies and Burger King. But I needed something to put that in, and I pulled out a fanny pack, and people were laughing at me and calling me Gramps, and I was laughing at him as I put my Crocs in, 4-wheel drive, and say you'll catch up to me one day, guys. And it's all on what you like, and I commend people that dress however they want to dress and not technically follow trends, and those are the people that I think are real, trendsetters.
Before I ask Albert and Andre's opinion, back when you used to rock SBs like hella tough just all the time, how did you used to wear your shoes? Because I feel like, for me personally, I always kind of let the shoes dictate my outfit.
Mhm.
So just curious on, and specifically SBs, like how would you put that together?
Well, I got my inspiration from, Mr. Kanye West, Lupe Fiasco, Pharrell Williams. So they were kind of my, inspiration as far as like what kind of clothes I like to pick out. But um, I like to think of like putting outfits as just kind of like accessories together. They're like a t-shirt can be its own accessory. So whenever I had bright shoes, I went calm up top. But if I had dull shoes, I would be really loud up top and bottom. So I let the kind of like the shoes kind of speak for itself.
Makes sense.
More?
Yeah. Go ahead, Jerry.
You want to show my shoes? Is that what you're pointing at?
I don't
You
know. I
want me to
think
pull it out.
you left John speechless, so speechless that his mic is muted or something. But yeah, I mean, like, yeah, same with Ace. Like, I'm curious with the kind of resurgence of the SB, and you mentioned Travis Scott seems to be a big influence in that, but he rocks like SBs and other things, right? Other Nikes and stuff as well,
Yeah.
like just like Jordans or whatnot. But
I think just anything hype beast culture.
right.
He'll definitely be on his feet.
But it's curious because like his whole like group or following and his allure, at least when he first kind of really shot off into the scene. Obviously, he's a great musician and artist, but seemed like his group, they're very kind of what happened? What happened?
There's two of me.
Oh snap. Oh, tripping.
Oh.
They seem like they were kind of like outcast type group, not as much as a Tyler the Creator like Odd Future fan group,
Mhm.
but they are very like kind of raw, like people don't really get us, we're like weird and awkward and like aggressive and edgy, but like still doing our thing. I feel like that was kind of like his fans really kind of bought into that, like, and going to shows and all the mosh pitting and jumping off of like the top of fences and all that crazy stuff. And so I think with his shoes, that started to kind of become a thing, and the brown colorways that became really popular when like normally that's not like a very attractive color on clothes. It seemed kind of like, whatever.
Mhm.
It's doo-doo, baby.
Yeah, now that he's so big, his fashion sense and style is so big, does that change like the kind of credibility for his art? Like, is he going to be so mainstream that then it's going to kind of crash and burn, and what he does is touches not going to like pop as much? Or will this like wave keep going, because Kanye was able to do it for so long and has been strong in his creativity and like artistry and brand. But like at first I felt like Travis was so kind of big, he was kind of like more of an outsider or like outcast vibe. But now that he's so mainstream, and with like the Kylie, which makes him even more mainstream, like, will this continue to be a trend, or will it fall off like soon? That's what I'm kind of waiting to like see. And then maybe SBs will go back to the sneakerheads and not just be like a hype beast thing.
Yeah, hopefully. I don't know if Albert. I think Albert looked like he was gonna jump in. He had something to say.
Yeah, well, I mean, based off of the whole Travis Scott, I think um I think as soon as that relationship with Kylie or whoever gets canceled first, it's ultimately gonna end all that hypey stuff.
You're saying
But
so it's bound that one of them's gonna get canceled, huh?
yeah,
Or something.
but I'm putting my money on Travis Scott just because for some reason the Jenners and the Kardashians are uncancelable. But
Yeah, seriously, huh?
but back to the whole like sneaker fit and the culture. I just and I do credit my brother because growing up I did like copy his style and now that he is for sure an early adapter and does like start the wave. But in the early 2000s, the only reason why I thought this topic was interesting was because the early 2000s, of course, Nike SBs, Travis Scott bringing it back, Kylie Jenner making it into mainstream. Um, and I thought it was a trend, it'll slowly go away. But then you have people like, Virgil Abloh now collaborating with Louis Vuitton, bringing back the Air Forces. And so, and then you have this new sneaker brand, trying to recreate these breads, these Jordan breads and the royal blues. They're I don't know if you guys know this brand Collegium. They're recently posting a hype beast, and they're showing a little homage to their high Italian fashion into the Jordan and the sneaker era of the early 2000s. Um, and so we have Travis Scott, rocking the Nike SB Kylie Jenner, and then we have the Air Forces, and then now we have people that are making their own sneakers, paying homage to the past. I just thought it was interesting. Like, is it now the 2000 era is coming back? Because all of the streetwear, where it was a major, like I think that was the peak of its existence, where you have all these different types of originality, and like my brother said, it's more about collaborative now, unfortunately, where I did think originality was the main source of the hype of the Nike SB Dunks releases. And now you just see collaborative with Kanye West, Pharrell, Travis Scott, Bad Bunny. So I just thought it was interesting how it comes full circle, and and just want to know your thoughts on it, and appreciate you guys talking about it.
Yeah, sure.
Well, to go off also on Dre as far as like the trend.
He's going off on Dre.
No, never, never gonna go off on Dre. But it's gonna be kind of like how for us, I think when we were in the game, we felt like the market flooded itself, and then we hopped out before we drowned ourselves within the market trying to flood itself, right? So I don't know if you guys noticed when they first released the Travis Scott ones, like, whoa, these are like the coolest things ever. They're using this Dookie Brown, and it's kind of almost like, man, what made you guys think of that? Now they're almost flooding the market with anything Travis Scott. Okay, Travis Scott MX ones, and we're gonna do Travis Scott PlayStation Royal ones low, and they're not letting it like almost like let it breathe on its own. They're like, okay, well, we need another Travis Scott shoe. We need another Travis Scott shoe. And I think why Kanye lasted so long is that he had those Yeezy ones. And then for the longest time, people were like, hey, when is he going to bring out the Yeezy twos? Boom, Yeezy twos. He didn't. I think Kanye is more vocal as far as like, no, I don't want to flood the market. I don't want you guys to control what I think is cool. I control what is cool. When it's backwards with, I think that's why maybe Kanye and Nike didn't work, so well, because he wanted to control the coolness, and he didn't want it to die out on it, so fast. While Travis Scott is probably just like, sure, cool, another, another Jordan one, sure. What colorway? Oh, the royal blue colorway. Sure. Throw it out. So it's not, to me, it's not special anymore because they're just flooding the market with anything Travis Scott. Sure, throw on the backward swoosh, throw on the cactus jack on the back of the heel. We'll let the resellers, murder themselves. So, as far as like the fashion trend of Travis Scott, I think he will either cannibalize himself or, just he'll overflood the market where people are kind of, you know what are these regular New Balances on the shelves? You know, I'm gonna see what's up with these because you know, it was cool when it first started, but now like, you know, you can't eat chicken nuggets 7 days a week. You're gonna get tired of it, right? So I think he's gonna you know flood himself out.
To play devil's advocate a little bit, but don't you think someone like a Travis Scott? I don't know too much about his backstory. I think he's a Kanye prodigy, though, right? If I'm not mistaken. Um, but do you think that maybe he's having a lot of fun with all of this stuff because it's like, oh, I used to love, this style, and I wish I saw it more. So maybe in his mind, he's just doing what he likes to do, versus, and maybe yeah, Kanye is definitely more vocal about like, oh, this is my vision, this is my genius, and blah blah blah. But maybe Travis just like hanging out in the back, just like, I really like these. Oh, we'll make you a design. I'm down.
Yeah, I
Like
think
what if it's that approach?
I think he's much more laid back, and you know, I've heard people working with Kanye. He's like really hard to work with. When I think it's otherwise because he just knows what he wants, you know, and
Mhm.
you know, his final product is going to be what he envisioned. And to a lot of people, well, he's difficult to work with. No, it's just he really knows what he wants. So I think there's a difference in that. As far as like Travis Scott, he's yeah, like you said, he's way more laid back. Like Travis, red and orange. All right, you know, yeah, let's put it out, man. When do they come out? You know, when is Kylie gonna get a pair? When is my baby gonna get a pair? Okay, cool, 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 cool. And then he's cool with it, and they'll tease it. They'll feed the hype beasts, and when is it gonna release? And when they finally let it release, and the hype beasts still look at it because they don't get the shoes, and then the resellers, I mean the bots and all these people that just buy them to resell are the ones that are gonna control the market. And cool, we're gonna bump up the price, making it cooler than what I think it is.
Yeah, and to piggyback off of what I think Kanye has a strict vision, so it's hard for someone to create his vision if he's not the one that's doing it, because it
Right.
never comes out how you imagine, and then for Travis Scott, as long as it comes with a little twist of his own style, I think he'll be okay and fine with really.
It's lit.
And I
I think
also
you were
think
gonna
there's
say
I think there's an element of nostalgia involved too. 'Cause I heard it somewhere and it's kind of left my mind, but I know like some people there's some sort of recipe or formula to like determine when the nostalgia of certain things is going to come back into play. Like I think like 20 years after something was popular is when that style comes back. So like if like in the early 2000s people were kind of getting back into like the 80s gear and 80s vibe, and now that we're in the 20,000s, things that were popular in the early 2000s is kind of coming back. So I think there could be some element in that because the early 2000s is probably when like SBs were like kind of really like the big thing. Even with a lot of
when
like
they
the
came out.
Yeah.
Was it 2003 or something? Was kind of like
2003 was the
early
first, yeah.
2000s, yeah.
yeah. So I wonder if that could be part of like why everything's kind of picking up again.
Yeah.
Even with the music. Oh, wait, there's some chick. Sorry, a girl who's popular right now and like has a song. Sorry. And maybe you guys know because everyone's talking about it on like social medias and stuff. But her song sounds almost exactly like a Paramore song. Do you guys know? Is it Olivia
Oh.
Rodriguez or something?
Yeah, I think she's half Filipino or quarter Filipino
Oh,
too.
okay.
Really.
And like her song that's like really popular right now is like it. I don't know if they got credit for Paramore got paid or whatever, but it sounds like themes in the chorus is almost exactly what the Paramore song is. And
Mhm.
so it's just kind of similar, like all these similarities with like things about 20 years ago. So
Mhm.
who knows if that's just kind of what's happening now, just trends have this kind of cyclical thing about like when people used to really like something, and then when they're a little older, then they start to get the nostalgia feelings for it. And then that brings it back into like the discussion of pop culture, and then the kids kind of then take it on themselves. So it could be some of that going on.
Yeah, and yeah, that's such a great point, Drake, because I was like, how far back do you have to go to be considered vintage?
Mm.
As far as fashion.
That's a great,
Right. It seems
great
like
question.
maybe around 20 years or 30 years it would be the most, but
Right.
there's also a thing of like like TV shows too, like when that 70s show came out, you know, to what, 20, 30 years later from the 70s or the middle, you know what I mean? And then there's a lot of things, if you look back of it in time, you can kind of see like when people are like interested in looking back at an era. And yeah, I forget what the formula is. Someone else was talking about it or did it, and it was really, seemed really smart and made sense. But yeah, that could be a thing. Yeah, vintage. It's like in essence, the word sounds kind of like bad. There's like negative connotations, but everyone kind of likes vintage. Like at the same time, there's also a cool factor to like
Yeah.
vintage stuff. So yeah, that could be what's going on.
Something that might make Dre a little giddy here. What I heard coming back is CDs.
Stop.
So you know how
CD
they
nuts.
so you know how they were
Well,
trying
that
to
joke
bring
can come
back
back too.
8 tracks and cassette tapes, and then they were bringing back vinyls. From what I heard, CDs, compact discs, might make a small run, and become popular again. And
Yeah,
so
I still have. I think I have my case somewhere with like all
yes,
my burned CDs.
whatever you
guess we
rode
do have those.
in Dre's car, and if you sat in the back seat, be prepared to carry around a 3-pound CD booklet.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. So you're saying that's gonna become like now records in a way? Like that's gonna be
Somewhat. I mean,
the old.
yeah, somewhat like like I collect vinyl records myself because I think they're pretty cool. I started noticing that a lot of record stores are buying back a lot of compact discs. So maybe I'm thinking there might be a resurgence of a CD. So, go into your garage and look for that old CD player and make sure it's anti-skip, because you're going to be tossing them CDs back in them CD players, man.
So funny story the other day. A buddy of mine was saying how he watched the first Guardians of the Galaxy, and his sister was like asking her dad, "What's a Walkman?" And mind you, she's Generation Z, right? But like when you think when I heard that question, I'm like, you don't even need to know, because the iPod was just such a better invention. The fact, like, there is a thing of the convenience factor. To me, don't get me wrong, vinyl seems pretty cool. I would never collect it because it takes up too much space personally, but I know that, and I think Dre can agree with me, or everyone can agree with me, with like even recording on film or like filming with actual film, like there's just a different quality to those kind of things. But when it comes to other things, like, convenience just always wins, right? Why carry around a 3-pound thing of CDs? Don't get me wrong, Jay was super dope, and you had all the hits. You had
Sneak
all the
this.
hits. You did
Um,
have all the hits. But don't
all
get me
the
wrong,
hits.
like, is there? I don't think you ever listened to Tupac though. But would you carry around jokes? I'm kidding. But would you carry around a 3-pound folder full of CDs, or would you carry around your phone and just connect your phone via Bluetooth versus, oh, let me push eject, let me grab the right one, let me hit skip a few times. You know what I mean? Like, so there's a reason why we've progressed in technology, because I don't know about y'all, but I get pretty lazy. So I want to just order ahead and pick up, as opposed to, walking in, saying my order, waiting, blah blah blah, etc.
No, true. Like, the iPod, one of the greatest inventions ever. Like you said, you can keep libraries and libraries of music in that, and you can't carry around a record player and bring all your vinyls with you, right?
Unless you have that boombox. What was that movie, Dre? Where he's holding up the boombox?
Say anything.
Say anything.
Say anything. So guys, I've never seen that.
All right.
Oh,
Thank you
there you
guys
go.
for
Hey,
tuning
add it
in.
to
Appreciate
your
it.
I'm at what?
add it to your 365, man. What's going
There
I
on?
you
got
go.
you. I got you. I'm writing it down right now.
But yeah, I mean,
Say anything. Sorry, Ace, you were
no,
saying.
you're good. But I I would never carry a Walkman. I would never carry a CD player. I just think that they're cool, and hopefully it'll give a 12-year-old all the issues that we had to deal with back then. Like, we couldn't even run with a CD player because you're guaranteed is going to be skipping the whole time. So I was wondering how people were working out it with a CD player. So it's really really cool. How they do that little thing on, I think, Instagram or TikTok, like, this noise will annoy you if you're born at a certain year. and it's just the AOL dial tone. A lot of the Gen Z people are like, why is that so annoying? We know why it's annoying. So maybe, with these Walkmans and like, they'll, oh man, this Walkman ate my tape, man, freaking stupid Walkman, and my favorite Backstreet Boys tape, and now they get to feel that pain that we felt back then, and make sure that CD is hella clean. You got to blow it a couple of times before playing it. Make sure it doesn't skip, and it's I'm hoping that the younger generation gets to relive what we had to go through.
Did y'all used to record songs on the radio with your tape? So, you were waiting for the song to come on. So
Yeah, I
it
did
comes
that.
on, you hit record and you just hope like there's no random ad or,
Right.
the DJ cuts in.
You'll always get Big Boy right before the song starts and right
Yeah.
before it ends. Like,
Yeah.
that was it. And then, go into your song. That what? And then you'll just cut it right there. And like, oh man, stupid Big Boy. Why do you have to talk right away?
Yeah, I did that for a Busta Rhymes track.
Which
That's
one?
right.
Which one? Which one?
Put your hands where my eyes can see. That beat was crazy. So I was like, man, I sat, I think for like 20 minutes, but like, then probably now they would play like the same 8 songs like every hour. So you wouldn't have to wait too long for that track to come on. But yeah, I was sitting there waiting for like 20, 30 minutes. And it finally came out.
Well,
Pressed
now
it.
you can log on to Spotify and just search it and play it. So yeah, like
Mhm.
you said, John was saying convenience over, but that's what the whole aura was back then. Like, oh, sitting by hopefully they play it this hour. Oh man, they didn't play this hour, and then you'd sit by the radio again. This is the hour that they're gonna play. You know what I mean? So it was horrible, but good memories at the same time.
At least you could see the benefits of your work. Like if you put in the work, then like you could, acquire something. Now the bots, people who have the bots are all gonna win your shoes. So don't even, it's not even worth the effort at this point.
And speaking of work too, Dre, no one used voicemail anymore. Remember all the work you had to put in to put the coolest voicemail ever? You'd have to let it play. Hey, what's up, man? Sorry, Ace can't come to the phone right now, but if you leave a message, he'll get right back to you. Boom, boom, boom. Like, oh man, that was so dope. And you
Yeah.
would hopefully people would call you and you would purposely send them a voicemail so they can hear that hard work you did. But nowadays, voicemails don't even exist.
That's true. And 2 things about voicemails, if I may. The first, do you remember like all those dumb, got you, like, hello?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
this is John's voicemail. Like that was always like annoying as shit. And then to go on a sadder note, and I've heard this from a song. It was like, forget what song. I'm drawing a blank on the song. I know it's on tip of my tongue, but basically it's like the dude. I think it's a Neo song. He would call the girl just to hear her voice on the voicemail. That was a thing too. Oh, kind of deep, but
ain't easy.
Albert, what's up? What was that about?
I was like, damn, who hurt you, man?
No, that wasn't me. That was the song.
Yeah.
That was the
I
song.
mean, that was also on Breaking Bad too.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
You about to put Dre through his feels right now, man.
No, my bad.
Man,
I just
saw that on Breaking Bad, man.
oh, my
For
bad.
those who know, you know.
Oh
If
man.
you
That's
know,
all I'll say. That's
you
all.
know.
I didn't watch Breaking Bad yet, so I'll get to that eventually. But I just remember that from a song. Like, yeah, without voicemails now, right? Like you don't do that. Ace had the greatest voicemail ever when Desi did what's his name? Pedophile Pete from Family Guy. Yeah.
No, I think it was Herbert. Was it Herbert?
Herbert, there you go.
Herbert.
We can say that word though. We're not get banned off YouTube.
I know we are gonna get banned. I'm sorry, YouTube. It was a joke. Schmetaphile. Schmeta. But yeah, Albert, I just you were gonna say something. I cut you off.
No. I mean, it's just crazy how funny this whole conversation is. Just because now we sound like the old heads, complaining about the young generation and how much has changed.
That's true. That's wild.
But yeah, it's just crazy how that all that happens and how it is.
Never in your mind would you have ever thought you were gonna say, back in my time. I've said that a couple of times. I had to stop myself. Like, wow, I'm really gonna say that sentence. But yeah, man, we're definitely the old heads now.
Yeah. I feel like it's just an opportunity because, again, like hanging out with my little cousins and my little nieces and nephews, like I just get curious and I say, what do y'all do now? Like, what is this? Why? And then sometimes I can't grasp it, but at the same time, I didn't grow up with an iPhone already in my hand. I didn't grow up with a tablet.
What's a
Right.
Nintendo 69?
That's from Rick and Morty. Ding. But yeah, hey, and so how let's take a minute to just show some appreciation for Nintendo 64. How amazing was that gaming console?
Yeah, that was the greatest. That was a great one.
GoldenEye, Pokemon Stadium, Super Smash Brothers.
Don't forget Turok. You're
Zelda,
guaranteed a migraine
Ocarina
after
of
playing that
Time.
game.
That one was good. I love Majora's Mask too, Dre.
Yeah, so that's like I never played that one. I think I played a little bit, like the first like 10 minutes, and then like I didn't get it, or I was like the whole like it resets time. But I know that one's really, really highly ranked. That might be like one of the games that I haven't played that's like considered one of like the best games. But yeah, like it was kind of tripping me out that like it has to reset or something. And I was like, oh, this seems kind of dumb, but it's probably great.
It's great.
He's great.
Bad Bunny.
Great.
I mean, that's an episode there, listing your favorite, like the best consoles or best games. I mean, games, there's so many games, so it might be tough, but like best consoles or best games from each console. So,
That would be a tough one.
Are we gonna have to
There's a lot to
rank all
talk
of the
about.
consoles and games, man? I
That'd be
mean,
an hour each person. That'd be a 4-hour episode.
Right. That's a lot of nerd stuff going on right there in that kind of episode. But I mean,
where to begin, right? Like, dude, all the Super Mario games, Halo changed what first person shooters are. I was a huge fan of Mortal Kombat when it comes to fighting stuff. I know all of y'all like Street Fighter. I like Street Fighter too, but I was just always a Mortal Kombat guy. But yeah, you're right, Trey. That's a whole nother can of beans.
I thought Dre was gonna go a whole different way when we heard that's great. I thought you say list your favorite cereals. I was like, okay, well that's a fun one, but yeah.
oh man, that's also a great one. Good. I think that one could get heated. A lot of arguments with that one. People feel pretty passionate about the cereals.
Oh man, yeah. Don't mess around with my cereal. It's actually surreal.
Oh dear. I mean, if we're not talking about French Toast Crunch, I'm just kidding. I didn't really even eat French Toast Crunch. No, I was a cinnamon toast crunch.
Cinnamon toast crunch.
I was a cinnamon toast, but yeah, but like people got upset when they discontinued French toast and it came back for a minute. Just me.
It was good. I mean, I've had cinnamon toast crunch. It was good, but it doesn't beat the original cinnamon toast crunch. I don't know if
you
that's
mean French toast.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've had the French toast crunch, and I've had the cinnamon toast crunch. Right.
Mm-hmm.
The French toast one was good, but it doesn't beat the cinnamon toast.
No, yeah,
agreed.
Cinnamon toast crunch is one of the best.
Yeah,
And then I mean, we're totally going nostalgia now, but remember those like Applejack commercials? Because no one knew how to describe how they tasted or something like that. That's all I would remember.
It tasted like apples, Jack.
That's not it, Ace.
Well, that's how it should have went.
Or what was that commercial? Damn it, you guys got me thinking now. You remember that commercial about the cereal? I think it was Honeycomb, where like it was old ladies and they got like the guy kept trying to steal it or something. I don't know. Anyways, not the point. Albert,
was that golden or was that
golden grams?
Golden crisp or
golden
or the smacks or the golden smacks?
I know those cookie crisp.
Cookie crisp. Oh yeah, the cookie crisp had a guy with like a mask on.
Yeah, he was like a burglar.
Yeah, that one was clean. The cookie crisps.
Yeah, those are clean ass.
Albert, what do you think? Was it Pops, Golden Smacks?
He was all about same thing as shoes. He's gonna say it's all about the kicks, baby.
Hey, there it is.
Oh my god,
I'm a real sneakerhead. I only ate kicks.
Oh my god.
Oops. Trash.
Get out of here.
Wasn't that one like the bland one that had no flavor to it?
Yeah.
You had to add like bananas and strawberries. Like
I added straight sugar to
mine. Sugar. I did.
Yeah, I would just drizzle some sugar over that. There's no way.
Dang, that's stuff that would definitely not happen nowadays with like parents oh, here's some cereal for your child. Here's a spoonful of sugar in the milk. But yeah, we did that too. Like my parents did that with me for some of the cereals. That's wild. They wouldn't do that. Everything's too health conscious and organic and stuff like that now.
Yep, yep. But
I
yeah.
mean, I don't think anything can really beat a solid bowl of corn pops.
Corn Pops was cool, but it sounds weird. They made the milk kind of oily for me. Like
Mm.
that film of sugar that's on the Corn Pops. If you didn't drink it fast enough, it was kind of oily.
You,
I don't know. Maybe it was
I
just
think
my
you're
milk.
making popcorn.
Maybe it was just my milk then. Should have read the date.
Yikes.
Oh, geez, that's all bad. But no, yeah, damn, we definitely took a left turn there, right? Basketball though, completely unrelated. Who's gonna win it all, guys? Who's gonna win it all? Because we've been wrong this whole time.
We've
Suns.
been wrong. ATL.
Recap: it's the Suns against the Clippers, no Kawhi, and Atlanta against Milwaukee. Trae Young killed. Who y'all got winning the
It's
whole
only
thing?
one game though between Atlanta and Milwaukee, right? So far.
Right. It's only been
So,
one. Clippers are
um,
down 0-2, exactly where they want to be. Just kidding.
And how are the Clippers and Suns looking right now?
Well, Chris Paul is playing tonight. Kawhi's still not back. Again, they're down. Clippers are down 2 games, exactly where they want to be. They had a heartbreaking loss last time because they lost on an inbound dunk, which you hate to see it if you're a Clippers fan.
That was
Bruce,
great.
I loved it.
That was
Yeah.
I
beautiful. I
love
mean,
Oh.
all they needed was their star to make a free throw.
Yeah,
pretty much.
exactly.
yes.
It's rough.
You're
Yeah.
not wrong. There was also, again, sorry if I'm repeating myself, but there was a funny meme that was sent to me about Lakers fans, and they're like, I'm only gonna root for the Clippers in 2 scenarios. One, if they play the Celtics, because Laker fans, we hate the Celtics. And 2, if they're fighting the Schmotzies. No, but they said Dre's right. I should be conscious about YouTube. So it rhymes with Schmotzies.
Oh,
So that's the only time they root for the Clippers.
Professional Yahtzee players, I know.
Correct.
Okay,
And
I
that's
like
the
that.
only
I like that.
time a Lakers fan would root for the Clippers.
Okay.
Those 2 scenarios. So
Very-
the fact
very
that they're
true.
not, yeah. But anyway, all joking aside, seriously, who do you guys got? Dre, you said the Suns?
Yeah, I think the Suns seem like the best all-around team right now.
Suns look very, very strong. Atlanta looks very surprisingly good. So I think it would be a fun playoff, Phoenix versus Atlanta, because Trae Young looks crafty. Chris Paul is a crafty player. Trae Young is their shooter. Devin Booker is their shooter. DeAndre Ayton looks like an emerging big man. John Collins looks great as a big man. They just look really good. Huerter, right? Kevin Huerter looks really, really good.
Herder.
Yeah, I think it would be a
I
very,
hardly even
very.
know her.
I think it would be a very,
Oh
very.
my God.
It would be a fun playoffs finals. Phoenix versus Atlanta, and I would take Phoenix.
So what about you, Albert?
I definitely think Phoenix is gonna take it. I do want to bring this up though. Do you think ATL had the easiest route if they were to head down to the finals and win it all?
Before everyone answers, I just want to say this: Atlanta and Phoenix have been the healthiest teams this postseason, which I think does play a huge
Other than
factor,
Chris
right?
Paul, right?
Sure, 100%. But Chris Paul missed 1 game against the Lakers, and he was out due to COVID protocols, which isn't dudes out because of a knee injury, can't really play, or he has a strained hamstring. Like all these other teams. Don't get me wrong, injuries are part of the game. I get it, but let's call it what it is. They have been the healthiest teams in the playoffs. So that's just all I would want to say. Do they deserve to be where they're at now? 300%. That said, what was your question, Albert?
Did Atlanta had the easiest route to the finals, or where they are now, and if they were to win it all?
I mean, Philly was number 1 in the East. They beat Philly too. It's not like Philly lost that series. It went to 7.
But then everyone was projecting Brooklyn to win it all, though.
Well,
Right?
also, Lakers are
Healthy.
supposed to win it too. Yeah.
If they were healthy,
Right. Like the Lakers probably, I don't know if they would, not to say that they would have definitely won that series, but they were looking a lot stronger with Anthony Davis in and Chris Paul hurt, right? Isn't that like when the Lakers won?
Yeah, but also, do you
So
think, even with the current situation of Brooklyn, do you think Atlanta would have won that if they were to had that seeding?
I think they would have beat an injured Brooklyn team.
You think so?
I think, yeah. I mean, people are giving Durant crap for some odd reason, ignoring that he's a really good player. But it takes a team to win, and Atlanta has a lot of young, hungry guys that don't understand. A lot of the old heads, like the Shaqs and Charles on, they're like, yeah, they're really surprised with Atlanta because these young teams tend to fizzle out when the pressure is on. But they're just hooping. They're there for each other. They're hungry and they want it, and they have the talent to get there. Ace was saying that Trae Young's a shooter, but Herter's a shooter. Bogdanovich is a shooter. Gallinari is a shooter. Collins is a shooter. So now you have the floor spread. You have Trae Young literally controlling the whole game because you have to double this guy off a pick and roll, and he has the vision and the passing ability to get other guys open. So how do you stop that? It's really hard to do when they're all healthy and they're all aggressive on the perimeter and they're all, like I said, hungry. So they're not an easy out. A lot of the teams that have played have not been easy outs. The only easy out was when Phoenix played the Lakers because the Lakers literally quit when Anthony Davis got hurt.
Well, I'll say this: the two teams that look like they're having fun playing are Phoenix and Atlanta. And going back to the bubble last year, I think what made the Lakers so like tough, they look like they were just having fun and they're balling out, right? And I think that's what's, to me, what looks not scary, but Brooklyn looked like they weren't having fun. So that's why they didn't look too scary to me. Like, man, they're a good team on paper, but they don't look like they were having fun playing with one another. Unlike Trae Young and Atlanta, they're out there literally having fun. And if we win, we win. If we lose, hey, we'll get them next game. Phoenix looks like they're having a ball just out there playing. And I think that's the problem with the Clippers too. I don't think they're having fun. So
Yeah, it's just like the teams that have the more pressure, it seems like. I'm sure
Yeah.
the Clippers had pressure because of the way they went out last year. The Nets had the pressure because they had the All-Star team, and where basically everyone said that they have to win because, how can you not win with those 3 players? Lakers were Lakers, and then, you lose a star, all the pressure that comes with LA. So yeah, I mean, I could see that. The teams that are going in with a lower amount of expectation seem to be thriving.
What do you think, Albert? Do you think that Atlanta would have been able to beat Brooklyn and, all these other teams? Do you think they're going to beat Milwaukee even?
I mean, I think with Brooklyn, I think it would have been a toss up either way, just like Milwaukee. I think it would have gone down to like a Durant, second shot, but unfortunately he just didn't make it. But I do think that they did have the easiest route because I mean Ben Simmons is the one. I mean, everyone's talking about Ben Simmons and how he crumbled under pressure and he was just non-existent in that series or in a few games. But
he wasn't existent at the fourth quarter of all the games.
Well,
I
yeah,
think he put up 3 shots. Oh, he made 3. Oh, wait. Yeah, he put up 3 shots all of the fourth quarter of the 7 games. That's really, really bad.
From your starting point guard.
Yeah.
And Dre even said it too during the games, right? We weren't even talking, but he would say like, yeah, just hack him. He can't even make. It sucks when your starting point guard can't make free throws and you have to take him out of the game.
Is that why you think he wasn't aggressive or he wasn't trying to shoot? Because like, man, if I try to become aggressive, like he was afraid of the line, you think?
Yeah, for sure, mental.
Yeah.
And this is a separation between him and even Trae Young. Trae Young, game 7 was like 3 for 24. And then he still took that really long 3, which, was basically the dagger of the game. And it's leadership and mentality. And he, if Ben Simmons needs reinforcement from his teammates to do his thing and he wasn't getting it, he's not gonna feel confident. He's not gonna do his thing. He probably already felt bad, like, crap, I sucked this series. And now that I'm not getting boosted confidence from, my teammates, like, he took himself out. And it sucks. And I think he's talented enough to bounce back. But right now he's just gonna go through it. Just like a Paul George last year. He got destroyed by the internet and critics and all these people. And look at him this year. He's turned it around. Regardless if they win or lose against the Suns, you can't say it's Paul George's fault. Okay, he missed a couple free throws, sure, but he's still averaging like 30 something points for this year. Like, he's still doing everything he can. Sometimes people miss free throws.
True.
Yeah, and I think Trae Young, if you shut him down, I think the rest of the team shuts down.
Well, yeah, I think he's definitely the heart
Yeah.
of that team.
And I don't think anyone from Philly to Knicks were able to shut him down.
Oh yeah, and then Milwaukee looks like they have better defenders, right? Middleton and
But Trae Young looked like he was getting everything he wanted.
I mean, he's just a crafty player. He's just, they can say that move that he does is not a basketball move, but it's causing players to not run behind him as much, and it gives him that floater. So that's a basketball move to me. So I think they're just trying to shut him down from, cutting people off and then getting that, bad foul, but it's letting him give that, little floater off. I don't see nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. I mean, get the ball out of his hands, right? Trap the pick and roll and let someone else be a playmaker.
Correct.
Have someone else, be big time. But if you're letting Trae do everything, he is going to get that floater every time. He's going to get fouled, or he's going to get an open three, which is what he did. And he went for 50. I mean, 48, same difference.
He looks crazy out there.
Agreed.
I think they're these both players that were, well, not players, but teams, Atlanta and Phoenix, not prodigies, but big Kobe lovers, right? We have Trae Young, that was a big Kobe fanatic, and then Devin Booker, who's a big
Trae
Kobe
Young's more
fanatic.
of a Nash fanatic.
Trae?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But those two stars look 100% awesome out there.
I couldn't agree more.
I guess I'm just hating on ATO just because how everyone's saying that, Trae is the villain of the NBA right now. So I'm definitely
in a good way, right? Like they're saying it's like a fun villain.
Yeah. And that's the only reason why I'm hating.
I can see that. I mean, in other basketball news, they confirmed the Olympic team.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and
they're kind of a small roster, to be honest.
Yeah, they're not very tall. I think Bam is their center. They have Draymond, Kevin Durant, Tatum, Beal, Lillard. Go ahead, Dre.
Did we have a lot of potential people opt to not play because either they're older and it's like they were tired, or is this just like these were the guys they felt would fit best for international basketball, since it's like a different style? Because our starting five, I mean, obviously great players. Like our starting five looked like, oh, okay, cool, this is a dream team type stuff, and then the bench all seemed like very more support oriented. I was like, oh, okay, maybe that's just they feel these guys are better for international basketball.
Yeah, I think Mitchell declined to get to recover from his injury, and then Curry, I think, just declined just to rest as well, right?
Yeah, I think some of the older dudes are just like, okay, cool, they got this, because they do have enough talent. I mean, Dame, Durant, and Beal. You're right, Dre. Right. We have a lot of shooters, and we have a lot of playmakers, and we don't have the height, but we have so much skill that
is Kevin Love still good? I haven't seen much from it. Like, is he still like normal Kevin Love, or has he lost?
I think he's lost a step.
Because I was like, oh, Kevin Love's on here. Like, I'm sure we have better players. Ayton, or how do you say his name?
DeAndre Ayton.
He's not
American born.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. He seems incredible right now for like a big man. Is he not an American citizen, or
he's
a citizen? Yeah, he's a citizen, but I think he plays for a different team.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I guess
he plays for Bad Bunny.
I'm sure we have a lot more players right now, which is a good thing. That are like international born or whatever. So it's always good when there's talent coming from everywhere for the for the league. But yeah, like I just felt like the bench. I wasn't that impressed with the bench, but like I said, I mean they're all great players, and the bench is never going to be as good as a starting five. But it felt like there was like a significant drop off from there. Like I wasn't sure if maybe it's just like, oh well, international ball is different, and you have to be like faster and do these sort of things. You need rebounders, you need so maybe that's why they were chosen. But
Other than Steph Curry, who would have taken the starting position though? That opted out.
Like LeBron and Anthony Davis.
Oh,
if they were,
LeBron.
Yeah,
if
like
they were
Anthony
healthy,
Davis.
Okay,
if they were healthy enough to
Yeah,
play.
because then that would
Is
push
Westbrook on
back.
the team?
So Kevin Durant. So the starting would have been LeBron, Kevin, Anthony Davis, Curry, and what maybe Dame.
Dame or Beal, pick your
Mhm.
Right?
poison.
Yeah, and then I guess the bench would look better if the starters would have played, right?
It's crazy. You got Jason Tatum coming off your bench. What?
Yeah.
Which is great. So Westbrook isn't on the team, is he?
Oh, see Westbrook too.
Yeah, so like a Westbrook, Steph, Davis is one. I mean, obviously, like I'm not surprised that like James is not on there because he's older and plays so much basketball. So like I get those.
But this could
kind of
technically be
players,
his
but-
last one. I would have played if this was my last one, right?
True.
Because then it would have. So okay, question for the Olympics: is it going to come back 2024 or is it 2025?
I don't know. I don't know the rules for that. I would.
Because I know it's
assume
every 4 years.
2020.
When Dre gets his quarter pounder.
Is that a double entendre? I think
Royale with cheese.
Oh,
But
okay.
because then
winner.
like LeBron, if this is possibly his last one, is he thinking, well, I can play the next one? Would that be 2024 or 2025?
what's when is the Olympics coming to the States? Is it 2028?
Something like that. Yeah.
Then I think
What's the
they'll
next
stick
round
to
of them?
Hmm? Yeah,
Oh,
I
sorry,
think
go
they'll
ahead.
stick to no. I think they'll stick to 2024 Ace.
Oh.
I'm not 100%
I'm
confirmed on that,
I'm
but
hoping LeBron plays that one, and it's so it could be his last one, right? That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm just worried for LeBron.
Well, back to the whole international play. I think it's more about shooters. I think the only big men from what I remember is from like Spain, Argentina, and like maybe like Pakistan.
France.
bro,
France.
Slovenia,
Slovenia, yeah, a lot. I mean,
Joker.
yeah. Oh, Slovenia, yeah. So there's a few teams I think that do rely on the big men, but it's mostly shooting of the in the international play.
They don't want to see the Philippines.
Why, Ace?
No, because
We're the bench.
Yeah, we're the bench. I mean, if you've seen our national diving team, that just shows you what kind of skills we got, because we got skills, bro.
So I was hooping with some Filipino cats last night, and they were saying like, "Oh yeah, man, well we play outdoors with no shoes," and I'm like, "How? Is that true?"
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Shoes is a luxury, bro.
I mean, I agree, but
You got roosters running across the court.
oh dear,
Hell yeah.
oh dear. Wow. Oh, by the way, it was Carl Nassib who came out for the Raiders.
Carl Nassib, right?
Sorry. Back to the Olympics. There's a little controversy. I think one of the like the major cast. I think it might be even Stephen A. Smith, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry if I get it wrong, but he said that Kevin Love is a token white guy, and the only reason why he's on that team is so that they don't have a lot like purely black players on the team.
Wow. I mean, I don't know.
Fudge.
What do you guys think about that?
I think
The
that
token white.
I think that could be
He's the
said just
Larry
for the
Bird.
sake of creating buzz around, like, Dre, I feel like you'll articulate it better than I could, but he basically just wanted to make some kind of talking point, like some type of big deal out of this. But really, Kevin Love's probably just there because he said like, "Oh yeah, I'm down to play," and no one else probably stepped up. I don't know. What do you
Veteran
what do you guys
presence as
think?
well, you know.
Sure, yeah, and he could shoot, and he's played big for them before. Like he's played on the Olympic team
Right. I
before.
mean, obviously, yeah, like you never like to hear someone try to claim something, someone's a token thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The roles were flipped for some other sport or activity, and there was one black person, and then some white person saying, "Oh, this is just a token." That doesn't sound like a good thing. So that being said, though,
It's pretty bad.
it is ironic. Is it ironic, or is it a coincidence that the person I did bring up was, oh, like, why is Kevin Love on the team? Like, I don't know. I'm not paying attention, like knowing all the rosters and all the players super in depth. But that player was the one to jump out to my head of like, is he still good? And like, is his fit there? So, I mean, I'm not saying that supports Stephen A. Smith, but
Right.
maybe there is some question of, is he good enough to be on the squad? I don't know.
No,
Maybe he's been
no.
balling because I haven't really watched him or his teams in a while.
He was injured last year for the majority of the year. Don't get me
I
wrong.
mean, we
he
could
can
dive
still
into
shoot.
it, right? We can.
Yeah.
So who would replace Kevin Love? Because they would technically need another big man, right?
So
Yeah.
what is he power forward now or small forward?
Power
What's the
forward.
position?
No, he's
Is he
always
power
been that.
forward?
Well, for the
Yeah.
Olympic team, I think he would be a center.
Yeah.
So he would
Yeah,
be
they-
like
they
a
probably
power
play him at
forward
center.
center, right?
Yeah, they'll play him. They'll play him at the 4-5 for the most part.
So
Again,
who would replace him then?
So Davis
So-
clearly opted out, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Anthony Davis is
opted
not.
out.
It's
And
like
then
it's not an
who's the
option.
next top big man that qualifies for the Olympics?
And then like what the names that pop into my head are like international, like Vucevic, right? Or Vucevic,
Mhm.
Nurkic,
Greek freak who's
Yeah.
Greek.
Greece,
uh, Nokic, right? He's another big man.
Oh, Nurkic?
So
Yeah.
do we not have any good big men in America then?
No,
Like, we
no,
don't-
no.
Like we don't make centers and power forwards anymore.
Right, because Rudy Gobert is technically French,
France.
right?
I mean Zion, right? But is
Oh,
Zion, but
Zion, that's true.
Zion's tiny. I don't like
yeah.
Zion will get exposed for sure because he can't really shoot. And Embiid is also not American
Oh, here's
born.
another one. Oh,
yeah,
well,
yeah.
I guess is Kawhi not playing because he'd be
Kawhi
hurt,
opted out.
or has he ever played? Like
He
is that
played
in
once.
his personality?
He played once, I
Okay,
believe.
Kawhi.
There's that. Hold on, I'm drawing a blank. I mean,
But like
the Morris
like
the Morris twins
Crowder,
aren't that. Crowder's small, yeah.
he's a really good player.
So yeah, we don't really have
Yeah,
like, because
no.
I was thinking about it too. Like, we don't really have any big men then. Because I was like, damn, Draymond Green would be our technical power forward center too, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and he's on the team too. So
And so, damn, other than Kevin
We wouldn't want
Love,
people
like a Blake
Dwight Howard
Griffin.
or
Yeah, Dwight's probably
he's
Dwight
a
can't
knucklehead.
shoot. Yeah,
he's a
Dwight can't
knucklehead.
shoot. So
yeah, and I think he opted out as well, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm trying to look. Yeah, you're right. We don't. We're definitely like a Andre
Scarce.
Drummond, but he can't shoot. Andre Sarah can't shoot. Julius Randle.
Oh,
Julius Randle, what I thought could have been there. Again, yeah.
that's-
like
that
a
would be
better
a
power
nice little
forward.
replacement.
What's the kid's name from Cleveland?
Texas?
Josh Allen.
What about
Oh, Josh
Tristan
Allen.
Thompson?
Is
This is
Josh
like
Allen
a-
the Buffalo Bills quarterback?
No,
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Jared Allen.
Jared Allen.
Jared Allen. What about Tristan? Isn't he pretty solid player
But
right
he
now?
can't shoot. Like that's the thing. Like you said, Dre. When it comes to international play, you need to shoot.
Okay.
Yeah.
You'll get exposed. And
but
then
Jared
you'll open
Allen
up pass-
can shoot then too, right? Or he's a decent
Right.
shot.
Right.
So it sounds like maybe he is the best like a good
No,
option.
what about that kid from Houston? Christian Wood.
He's all right.
coming back
He's
from
like
an
he's like
injury
Anthony
too, right?
Davis. Was that Albert?
Wasn't he coming back from an injury too?
Oh yeah, he was kind of injured. That's true.
I mean, and so I haven't been keeping up too much with Stephen A. But
Jarrett Allen. Sorry, Drake. Jarrett
Right.
Allen.
But I felt like lately he's been more of a, he hasn't been screaming a Stephen A in a long time. Like it seemed like he's been more kind of solid and grounded with his takes. Like I would feel like someone like a Skip Bayless would be the type to be more like saying wild things just for the controversy and just to be against the grain to get like views and stuff. So who knows, maybe Stephen A has gone that way. So I mean, yeah, the take does kind of feel like it is just to get his name spoken about and to like appear in print. But I didn't know if that was his style lately. His style seemed to be more kind of fact based, but maybe not. Maybe it's been a little while since I've like kind of heard his name come up as much.
If I may, I remember when Nash got the head coaching job for Brooklyn last year. he was the first person I heard that, kind of says something along the same line where it's like, oh, this is a white privilege thing. Like he only got this job
Right,
because
right.
he's a white man. Like that's why he's getting this NBA coaching position as opposed to guys, like Chauncey Billups or Sam Cassell or others that are actually on coaching staffs that should probably get an
Oh, I
opportunity.
see.
Yeah.
So
So
not like it's not so much of like he's constantly kind of going after white player or white people. At least for this take, was his
Right.
take then that was Steve Nash not coming directly from an assistant coaching position and straight into the head coach, as where there's all these assistant coaches who've been paying their dues and they're not getting the chance. Is that what his
Right.
kind
Yeah,
of?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's
This
basically
one?
exactly. But of course, the headline is Stephen A says Nash hire is white privilege
Mhm.
because you got to sell. It's got to be buzzworthy, all
Right.
of that stuff. And
Which
I know
maybe he's saying that, but there's still kind of more context to it that kind of fleshes it out more. But it's still probably at the heart or essence of what he was saying.
yeah, exactly. Which I'm sure could be with the Kevin Love thing, right? Because it's like I don't think he's trying to say that he's trying to talk about tokenism, but if you look at the roster, objectively speaking, Kevin Love is the only white dude.
Yeah.
Like I'm curious, is there an Olympics team that has never had like a white player on it? Has there always been like at least one?
Yeah, I was scrolling down the comments and I think somebody said the 2016 Olympic team had an all black roster.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Is
that the team that didn't win gold?
No, I think 2016. Actually, 2016. Yeah, I don't think they won. Oh no, they won gold.
They won
2016.
gold, right? Or I
they
know
won't go.
because I know Kobe Bryant had to come back for the redemption team.
That was 2012.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that was a good ass. That was a good ass Olympics. That was when he went off against Spain.
Yeah, when he went against Luis. Oh no, that was not Spain, but that was Argentina.
Argentina.
Luis Scola.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's an interesting thing. I'm not gonna. Who knows? Like I'd have to read the full context of it and look at know all the players that are available. Who's like opting out, like who would have had a slot but chose not to, injuries and all that sort of stuff. But I don't know. It is just kind of like I'm just kind of a little curious since that was the one name that shot out to me or thing when I was looking at it. I was like, But who knows? I mean, maybe he's doing his thing and is like a good role player.
Yeah, when I saw the roster reveal and they're showing the players, I was just like kind of like scrolling through. I had to stop at Kevin Love. Like, wait, I've never seen this. Oh shit, it's Kevin Love. I didn't know who it was at first. I thought it was like a college player. I was like,
did
I haven't seen him play in a while.
Yeah, he didn't even play in the playoffs, right? Did like I think every person on a team at least like a playoff player? Because Draymond they were in like the
play in.
The
Zach
play-in.
LaVine didn't make the playoffs.
Oh yeah.
Because Singletary is really good. He's been killing it. Like I've been impressed with his game.
And Jeremy Grant was nowhere near the playoffs.
Okay.
But he's been balling out of control since he was on Denver last season in the bubble, right? And even on Detroit this year, he did his thing. But yeah, there's some dudes that haven't made the playoffs. And
speaking of Detroit, they got the #1 pick.
They did get the #1 pick, and apparently this class is really loaded. Sorry.
Yeah, this point guard from I think Oklahoma State, right? Is going to be Cole something, right? Cole Coleman or something.
World.
He's projected to be #1, but don't they have a point guard already?
Killian Hayes.
Are they just going to drop him?
I mean, look at Charlotte, right? They're guard heavy, and they still took LaMelo Ball, and LaMelo was Rookie of the Year.
True.
So you always have to go best talent.
Yeah.
It's the same
That's
question.
Available.
Yeah, because Portland picked Greg Oden because it was what they need when Kevin Durant was the best talent. So you always go best talent regardless.
Is that the worst pick? Or I mean, I guess the team that picked the guy over Jordan, right?
Sam Bowie.
Sam Bowie.
I mean, you could say that about a lot of draft picks. I mean, Donovan Mitchell wasn't even in a lottery pick, and he's balling way better than all the other cats ahead of him.
Wait,
well, not all of them, but
Jordan was a third pick though, right?
Yeah, Jordan was the third pick.
So Sam Bowie and who was the other player? Was it Hakeem? No.
#1 was Hakeem.
Hakeem, right? Yeah.
Wait,
oh, that's fine.
Yeah. Hakeem.
Was it?
Yeah, it was Hakeem.
So
Hakeem,
so what's the worst pick? Sam Bowie instead of Jordan or Greg Oden instead of Durant?
I mean, you gotta go with that because Jordan's the GOAT.
Yeah.
So you have to say it's Sam. Like, why would you take
I mean,
Sam
he
Bowie
is
when
a
this was the
GOAT,
GOAT?
but
Yeah, you guys are right.
also,
It was Hakeem.
but like Jordan, okay, like, and everyone talks about, 6-0. That's not like his official record is not at 6-0. That's the only time that he made it to the finals.
Correct.
Is that he's 6-0.
Correct.
He played in playoffs and lost in like the first round a couple times.
To the
right?
Pistons.
Then when he came back to his first year back, did they not even make the playoffs, or was it they didn't make the playoffs when he
Correct.
wasn't?
Yeah, the
when
first
he
year
wasn't-
back, he didn't.
The first year back,
make
they
it.
didn't make the playoffs.
Right. So he's not like perfect the way a lot of people try to make it sound, right? I mean, yes, it is. He's still the GOAT, and yeah, 6-0, like 6 MVPs, all that. But
This is a great debate, Ray, and
is
I
it too
would
late
love
for-
to
before I
have this
start it up?
debate.
Yeah,
but like,
yeah.
but like, I mean, things didn't really start going until what he got Pippen, and then he got other support like
Phil Jackson.
Yes, but also he had what
So
10? He had 10 scoring titles. He was MVP like 5 times. He was
True.
a defensive player of the year, I think twice. He was all NBA, all like he still has all these other accolades and statistics. Like his resume is still packed. And on top of that, he has 6 rings. And every time he got to the finals, he won.
yeah, sure. I'm just wondering, like, as like an individual talent, like a one-on-one player, I feel like Kevin Durant's like one-on-one talent. He seems like unguardable, right? Like he can't. Like what caused them to lose? Just fatigue. He was too tired to get enough strength on that shot, or his toe, his 16-foot toe, which looks like a mutant foot, like is this much on the line, or else
Sideshow Bob.
So it's like, yeah, I'm just curious, like who individually is better, but I mean, obviously there's intangibles, like being a leader, being like cutthroat, and like
that's different.
go for the throat.
Player.
Like Jordan had that mentality. Like also, we say Mamba, like Jordan had it first, and so obviously we can't appreciate that as well. But I mean, at least I don't think it's just clear cut and dry, and it's not worth the discussion. I think there could be arguments for like Kevin Durant's.
I got a question, Dre. So if we were gonna go down the list from every team, right? Let's say Kevin Durant. Okay, if you were to play Minnesota, who would stick Kevin Durant?
Minnesota.
Probably Anthony Edwards.
So Anthony Edwards, right?
He's the rookie. Yeah.
So if he were to play Houston,
yeah.
who would stick him?
Who would stick Kevin Durant?
Yes, we're talking clearly Kevin Durant.
Yeah. What was that dude's name that you picked up in Fantasy Ace? Not House. Yeah, House Jr. Right? Porter Jr. Kevin
Jr.
Porter Jr. He'll probably guard
Yeah.
Kevin Durant. He's
So
a small
if Kevin Durant were to play the Lakers, who would stick him?
Caldwell Pope.
Pope
Really?
They're not putting LeBron's not going to
Not
guard
LeBron?
Kevin Durant in a regular season game. He doesn't care that much.
Okay. Now we're gonna go to Jordan. I'm pretty sure we won't know these players, right? If Jordan were to play Seattle Supersonics, who would they put on him?
Gary Payton.
Gary Payton. If he were to play the Clippers, who would they put on him? My argument to this one is the players nowadays, like Jordan. I think Jordan would have a hard time to play some of the players nowadays because the defense and skill and athleticism is way different from it was back then. For like Kobe Bryant, the amount of talent he had to face night after night after night, almost it was like the best defenders from every team. When Jordan would play, I don't even know who I would throw away their basketball card because whoever's defending Jordan was almost like a scrub.
If
Because,
I
like,
may,
the better players seem to be like the power forwards, right? We think of like the centers, Patrick Ewing's, Karl Malone's,
Hakeem.
Charles Barkley's.
Because even like we'll even take
other
Kobe Bryant. He
players
had to go
all-
against Tracy McGrady, Grant Hills, and all these other players, right? And these rough players, who's the Kobe stop Ruben Patterson? But
yeah,
if you were put up Jordan's era, like, hey, he's playing the New Jersey Nets, and they're putting Bimbo Cole up against Jordan. Like, who the hell is
was that one
Bimbo
guy
Cole?
Card always threw out John Karate. Now, if that guy made the Olympics team, then maybe Stephen A. Smith would have a point. John Karate got chosen, then he has a point.
but if I may,
Karate-
if I may, Ace,
was he from New York or was he from Cleveland?
How did you guys get that John Karate card? I used to get so pissed.
He
It was
said
in every
karate,
upper
chop it out
deck.
of the way.
Yeah, in like every upper deck pack, man.
again though, Jordan was relentless in his pursuit of perfection with the game, and he changed the game
Correct. I
for
agree.
guards, right? Because like Dre just said, it was a big man's game, and Jordan was influential not only because of how good he was, but how he changed it to make it more geared towards guards.
Correct.
Without Jordan, you don't get a guy like Iverson, who was another guard who changed the game, and then Steph Curry, who changed the game to make it all about shooting.
Correct.
My argument would be, if Jordan was around now, coming up, right, like he's in college now, he would be one of the best, if not the best shooters we would see, because that's just how he works. Back in the day, he needed to be a strong, fast guard that was a complete player, which involved a post game, which involved turnarounds. Yes, did he have growing pains and did it take him a while to get going? 100%. But that was the kind of guy he was, where he wanted perfection and he took it, just like Kobe, right? But nowadays, the game has changed again and it's evolved. Just like when Jordan was playing, it was a big man's game that he made into a guard's game. So I think that Jordan has that mentality, this relentless mentality of perfection. And I'm going to be better than you because I like winning more than I hate losing more than you like to win. That's like what Jordan was to me when I would watch him play. And so I think it's apples to oranges, because it's just, the game is not played the same way nowadays.
Correct.
It's not as, now it's really fast paced. You can't even breathe on someone without giving them a foul, right?
Well, I'll also say this is another factor that I think would have hindered Jordan a little bit. He didn't have to deal with social media. I think it's a mental game. Social media is a mental game. And if you listen to the Last Dance, a lot of things went under Jordan's skin. So imagine him missing a game-winning shot and say, you know what? Jordan's losing it. He is not the GOAT anymore. I think that would eat him up. And I think that would really cause either turmoil where he's like, well, I want the ball more now because I need to show these people, or he might quit again because for undisclosed reasons, he left the game because he just wasn't feeling it anymore, right? I think social media would have ate him alive too. Like Kevin Durant has a tough skin, even though he has a burner. LeBron, all the things that he has to go through. Russell Westbrook.
LeBron's really political, so he's fine. But yeah, I mean, even then, I feel like the way that Jordan is, he would have figured it out, because that's just who he is. He got it done. He figured it out, and he would probably be in the vein of a Westbrook. He just wouldn't give a fuck. He wouldn't be a troll like Joel Embiid or Anthony Edwards or all these
So
guys
he'd be
that have
like
fun.
a Kobe almost, because I think Kobe didn't respond to social media.
Yeah, he's a guy. Jordan treated it like a job, and he wanted to be better at his job than everyone else. And that's what he did. He expected you to make the shot that he created for you, because that's your job. And I think that's how he was treated. Maybe like a Jimmy Butler, where it's like he takes it more seriously than other guys on his team. But again, like that's who he is, and that's why we love him and respect him, because he was that guy.
So why is Jimmy Butler not on the squad?
I was gonna say, why is Jimmy Butler not in the Olympics, man?
spot?
No,
Dang,
Jimmy Butler is on
dang.
squad, but he was on the 2016 squad that won gold.
Oh, the
So
all black squad is what you're saying?
I didn't. Yeah, those are your words, not
Damn.
mine. But yeah, but you know,
That's,
like
ain't that the New Zealand team, the All Blacks or something like that? That's what that's their team name, right?
Yeah, like they're like
rugby team or something.
Yeah.
rugby team or something like that.
So boom, John.
Wait, so what? So you can't play back to back Olympics?
No, I think you can, Dre. But he probably just opted out. I mean, Bam's playing in that, and that's his teammate. But he probably was just like, nah, I'm good.
You messed up. Now I want Jimmy Butler on the squad.
I love Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler, man. He would have been a cool little player playing in Tokyo.
Oh man, yeah, I can imagine him walking down Tokyo.
Man, he would be using all those condoms that they're passing out.
What?
Don't you? What, did you guys hear the stories? You know how they like, you know, for the like Olympic teams, like they give out hella condoms to all the Olympic athletes because there's just so much fornicating going on amongst all the athletes in
Nice.
the Olympic Village. But I guess this year's they don't want, you know, they understand it's going to happen, but they don't want to like encourage intermingling because still of COVID. So instead of giving condoms out when they all arrive, they're like mailing it to their houses or sort. It's some weird. It was a weird story, but yeah.
Imagine going to the airport. What's wrong, Dame? God, I forgot my condoms, man. Hey,
No, they got a whole stack over over at the hotel. Yeah.
it's like a toilet paper roll.
You know, no one's using those things. Any of those Olympic years.
I think on that note, we can definitely call it an episode. Thanks, y'all. That
Wait. If you guys aren't doing anything this Saturday, come visit me at Santa Ana at the Patches and Pins. These new guys are going to be highly available.
hey,
Come check them out. We're going to be there from 12 to 9, guys.
12 to 9.
12 to 9.
I'll be there.
I'll
Call me
be
the
there.
Jackson 5
be
because
there.
I'll be there.
Oh, okay.
Just kidding. Thanks so much, y'all. We'll catch you all on the next one.
Bye.